Hi there, Malcolm here with my 16th video for Wyrmberg Games, and today I'll be bringing you an unboxing for Villainous, Perfectly Wretched. This is the latest game from the Villainous run. I believe it's the 4th instalment now, where each one can be played as a standalone game or mixed in with the base game or any of the other standalones. It gives you 3 new characters to play as with 3 very different goals to try and achieve. So let's take a look, shall we? So we have one rulebook, which, near as I can tell, is exactly the same as the rulebook in the other 3 versions of the game, because essentially the base play is the same regardless of which expansion you've got. We have a baggie containing a Rapunzel tile. It resembles one of the cards, but it's thick cardboard. It's double-sided, but both sides show the same picture. 3 double-sided playing aids. On one side, they show all the potential actions that you can do, and on the other, they show the 3 goals for the villains in this set. What would be quite nice, particularly if they want to encourage you to mix all your sets up, perhaps, or you combine sets, is to have a printable spreadsheet with all the known characters, which numbers 15 at the moment. So if you do play somebody else who has a different box, then you've got a vague idea what they're trying to do. And okay, they can always lend you one of their cards, but then there's the risk of mixing cards up, because from this angle they all look the same. There are 3 individual player rulebooks. Because in Villainous each character plays very differently, and the base mechanics are pretty much the same, but each player is trying to do a very different thing, and they'll even have unique components just for them. So for example, Mother Gothel gets the Rapunzel token. Unlike with the other sets, these are 3-fold pull-out leaflets which lay out exactly what you're trying to do in the game, provide some strategy, and explains a bit about some of the cards that you have in their particular deck and how they work. And each one is beautifully illustrated, depicting the villain in question. So Mother Gothel, Pete, and Cruella de Vil. Of course, each villain is depicted by a stylised figurine. So Mother Gothel has this glorious yellow, what we think is a cloak, topped by the flower. So that's quite nice. Cruella de Vil is in a 2-toned fur coat. You can just about make out her hair sticking out the top. She simply loves furs. She lives for furs. She worships furs. It's quite a nice solid piece as well. I'll say Mother Gothel's is quite a lot less solid, and the intricate bits at the top of the flower, they could potentially be broken reasonably easily. Take care with this one. And then Pete has his dungaree, huge emphasis on his hat. Actually, it looks a bit like a Totoro wearing a hat, to be honest. But he's nice and solid. And then the player boards, each one backed according to their colour and fronted with a quote. So Pete here's, "I'm going to knock you into next week." Mother Gothel is, "You want me to be the bad guy? Fine, now I'm the bad guy." And Cruella de Vil's is, "I'll get even, just wait, you'll be sorry." And each one folds up to depict 4 locations from the film, with the idea being you move their figurine from location to location each turn. Each location will have a number of actions you can perform, either playing cards, getting power tokens, fating the other player, or moving cards that you've played about, because there'll be character cards and item cards you can move around on here. So each player plays on their own board. Pete's is all monochromed and done very much in the style of the era, and there's Mother Gothel's, as featured in Tangled. Each player also gets a deck of cards. This one's Mother Gothel's, the backs of which feature some stylised things from the film. So we have the cloak, the tower, and the flower pictures, and the crown at the bottom. Cruella de Vil has the hair, the bag, the car, and puppies. And Pete has the hat, the bags of money, and the steamship. Each deck is split into 2 decks, one with a coloured background and one with a white background. The coloured background is the main hand and will feature the various items and allies and events that will help the player win the game. The Fate deck contains the heroes and effects that will hinder the player and will be played on them by an opponent player who performs a fate action. And heroes will even sit on the top of action spaces, blocking off 1 or 2 actions, depending on how many is in that space, and have to be defeated or moved before those particular actions can be activated again. And some heroes will also stop that player performing certain things as well while they're on the board or in a certain location. There's also the fate token, where you have 3 or more players. A player who is fated, i.e. given a white card to play, they get one of these as well to stop anybody else picking on them. And they can't be fated again until someone else has been fated. So it stops ganging up, really, which is quite nice. Pete's character comes with 5 gold tokens, 4 of which are placed at random on the board, and they're the 4 goals that that character has to complete to win the game. The player playing Pete can look up and see what they are, but the other players cannot. Cruella de Vil gets these puppy tokens, which come numbered in 11 or 22, and have locations printed on them to show where they turn up. And the idea is to collect 99 of them. I've already showed you Muffy Rapunzel token. This is like a permanent hero fate card that it sits on the top of the board. She does move about a lot, so nothing's permanently blocked, but she can never be removed. There's a whole pile of these power tokens, which act as the currency. To play cards, you need to pay the card cost, which ranges from 0 to 4, and in some cases can be used to do other things as well, depending on the player. And it all fits nicely in this individual box. All the boxes have this type of insert, which does mean if you do want to combine them all, you have to take it out and just use an empty box. However, they do look quite nice on the shelf. So all in all, some really good quality stuff, keeping in with the quality of the other sets. I do think the power tokens are a bit of a cheap afterthought. I think they could be a little bit nicer, but they do what they need to. And certainly if you want to swap them out for some nice counters or something, then there's no reason why you can't do that. The artwork on the cards is, again, amazing. They've kind of taken stills from the film and then jazzed them up a bit. So they're not just screenshots put on a card. They're clearly taken from the film as an image, but like I say, they're manipulated and stylised a bit. I think I mentioned before, these leaflets are all very well and good, but they're just on paper, and I can see with many plays, folding and unfolding, it's a source of potential wear and tear there, but they're nicely produced. So with 15 characters, I've not played them all yet, and I can't say I've played it enough to have got a favourite yet, but so far, having played every box, I've enjoyed them all. I believe I've won every game I've played so far. So far we have the whole set. It is arguably my wife's favourite game. And look out for the Marvel Villainous that's coming out soon, with confirmed villains being Thanos, Ultron and Hela from Thor Ragnarok, with 2 more yet to be announced. So that's my unboxing for Villainous Perfectly Wretched, part of the Villainous series of games, standalone or to be mixed with the rest. Have you played Villainous? Is this a particular one that you'd be interested in? Who's your favourite Disney villain? And would you be interested in the Marvel Villainous box? So if they haven't already done it, which villain would you like to see next? Or which villain do you like playing at the most? Comments below, but as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you, and until next time, see you later.